Hi, so here we are on the third essay of our semester, the Modernism essay. Choose one of the following topics and construct an argumentative essay based on research and your own close reading of the primary text. Remember, the primary text means the stuff that the authors wrote themselves, the poetry or short stories or novel. First question. How does the poetry of either W.B., William Butler, Yeats, or T.S., Thomas Stearns, Eliot, demonstrate the characteristics of modernism as an intellectual and artistic movement? You may cite our textbook when establishing a definition of modernism. You are required to engage at least 2 works from our syllabus by your chosen author. Okay, so with Yeats, there are several pieces, but I want to make sure that you choose one of the ones that are on the syllabus, not just some random other poem that we don't have. T.S. Eliot, that's already pretty limited. In other words, there's only 2 poems on our syllabus for Eliot. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock and The Wasteland. So those would be the 2 works that you would be looking at for this assignment. Next question. Using one of the short stories from our syllabus, argue how James Joyce employs the concept of epiphany. What is the purpose and effect of his use? Be sure to define the term as a literary concept early in your essay. And I think once again, it's well defined in our textbook already. And there's no reason that you would have to go elsewhere if you have the textbook. But make sure that you're talking about what epiphany means as a literary concept, and then, of course, then apply it, whether it's to Araby or The Dead, the 2 stories that we have by James Joyce. What does the stream of consciousness narration in Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf suggest about human consciousness or identity? How does this technique affect the role of time in the novel? Now again, I'm going to say, look at our textbook. The editors have done a very good job of talking about stream of consciousness in Mrs. Dalloway. The whole novel really is a stream of consciousness novel as we move from one person's thoughts to another person's thoughts to another person's thoughts and back and forth, in which we perceive, if you will, how the different characters are interacting with the world around them. And of course, everybody's different, right? And so all these different characters have different ideas, sometimes even about the same exact event. Final question. Choose one of the modernist authors from the syllabus. Argue how he or she uses contemporary affairs, history, religion, artistic or literary tradition, and or other manifestations of culture to create works that are pregnant with new meaning. So this is a bit more wide open for you. So you can engage on just basically talking about modernism and what really it does and how shall we say, it affects thinking and understanding and interpretation of our world. The paper is due to be submitted to Canvas by Monday, July 29th, 11:59 p.m. Be sure to follow the out-of-class essay guidelines for matters of form and style. Use correct MLA documentation as described in the MLA format handout, the MLA for Literature class handout, and or the MLA handbook, 9th edition itself, should you happen to have one of those. Be sure to include a word count at the end of your essay. Remember, you must meet minimum requirements, including word count, sources, and subject. No late essays will be accepted without a verifiable medical or legal excuse. So the minimum requirements are, quite honestly, pretty much the same as we've always had. 1,000 to 1,400 words at the top. That's an approximate. Citations from at least 4 different sources. One of the sources must be the primary text. So let me just repeat. If you're using, for instance, the first question, you're choosing 2 poems by either Eliot or Yeats, that's the primary text, right? Now, in addition to the primary text, 2 sources must be scholarly works, such as dissertations, peer-reviewed journal articles, or excerpts from university press books. I'm going to be honest, so far that has been a little underwhelming this semester, because maybe you don't understand what I mean by this. It is not a simple Google search to some person's blog. Okay, we want scholarly work. And to do that, you need to go to JSTOR on our Mesa College library databases, or EBSCOhost, which is a very good source on our Mesa College library databases. Click on the peer review only button. That's an option that you have whenever you do a search on EBSCOhost. And guess what? You'll get scholarly work. Then the 4th source can be a source of your own choosing, but it must be a credible analytical source in its own right. So if it doesn't really qualify as a primary source and it doesn't qualify as a scholarly source, it should still be a good source. And again, I really want to emphasize the quality of your sources is very important in producing ultimately a high quality essay. Remember, the textbook only counts as a primary source, text I should say, although you may certainly use as editorial materials in your essay. And in fact, of course, I'm encouraging you to do that in a number of these questions. And as always, you may have more. Okay? A lot of people think I mean 4 and only 4. No, you can have 4, but you may also have more than 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Okay? MLA format and presentation and documentation, including correct in-text documentation and works cited. Using any other format like APA will lower your grade significantly. Okay? So good luck with this next assignment.